The nerves are with us all week.
Man,
It's
oh, man.
Halloween. It's a little scary out. The Herb and Raj podcast comes to you in, we got 20 seconds?
Yep.
You got 20 seconds to get ready, Raj.
All right.
You know, somebody asked me, did we use stunt doubles during that the handshake?
Did they seriously ask that?
No.
I was about to say. I can't believe I just seriously asked that.
I know. I'm like, come on, Raj.
You see what I just did? I just seriously asked. All right, sorry.
So it started early, huh?
Yeah.
Did you even wait till you were dad to do the dad jokes, or you just like
I've been
preparing all your
for
life?
years. Yeah, I've been prepping for years. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. First off, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Thank you.
Do you guys get trick-or-treaters in your neighborhood?
We get very few, but we didn't have any. We're not doing trick-or-treating this year, so we just have our porch lights off, so people know to go to the next house. But to answer your question, it's very few. It's kind of weird.
It's changed from when we were kids. People do events now. So
what now?
People do events.
Yeah, like the trunk or treat and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think one group.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And we didn't even have our stuff open, so they were already walking away by the time we got to the door. We were like,
exactly.
Hey, come back.
They want it fast. They want it right away. And the last time we did actually trick or treat, there was like teenage kids out here with their backpacks on, and like I think they had a mask on. I was like, "What are y'all doing?" It was like trick or treat, trick or treat. I was like, "Okay, whatever."
Goes Brian. What's up,
Brian?
Yeah, Brian. I guess had a little bit of a rough weekend. His Jacksonville won an ugly game, but Oklahoma dropped one.
Oh, you lost to Kansas. Yeah, that was a huge loss. Huge loss. So.
And then Lady Alpha checking in, saying hello. What's up? So, and that's a good start, I guess. So, as I'm doing like show prep like this afternoon and making some notes, like everything just started happening. NFL trades, the Harden trade was in the middle of the morning. And then, like, of course, right before we come on is the first college football reveal, which is where we'll start. First off, you got Ohio State at top, Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, and right behind them is Washington, Oregon.
Right.
And then, Texas, Alabama, Oklahoma, Ole Miss. Right. So my original one, I think when you and I talked earlier, I think I had Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, and I think I had Washington above Florida State. So my top six is about the same. But were you surprised at any of the rankings? Like, what was your initial thoughts when you saw them?
I was surprised Ohio State's number one. I kind of felt like Georgia was going to just keep the top spot. And keep in mind when I'm saying this, I see the rankings now, but I wasn't able to watch the show to kind of hear their explanations on the rankings. But my only guess is that Ohio State has the wins over Notre Dame and Penn State.
Yeah.
So they have some pretty good wins. So I understand that.
They have the best wins, Raj. And honestly, when I was looking at it, Georgia and Michigan, their schedules have been terrible. Yeah. So while they look good,
I agree.
They just haven't, the team. And for, Georgia's sake, for Georgia's part of it, they lost the Oklahoma game. That would have been their best one. But like Michigan's best win right now is over Rutgers. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Now when they talk about best wins, and I want to get your opinion, is it best wins when they played those teams, how those teams are ranked, or how the teams are ranked now? Because what do you think it is? Because I'm saying that because Georgia.
I know why you're
Kentucky.
Saying that.
Georgia beat Kentucky, but Kentucky's like not even ranked now. So I mean, when they played them, it was like a decent matchup, but now it's like Kentucky's not even ranked.
So, that goes back to Alabama versus Florida
Florida State. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So here's what it is, Raj. And this is – go ahead.
No. Yeah, Alabama, Florida State. This was 2016. I think Alabama was number 1. Florida State was number 3. It was hyped up to be the biggest opening college football game in history, blah, 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 blah. Alabama won. I want to say it's like 24-7. We knocked out DeAndre Francois, who was a quarterback. That was Jimbo's last year at Florida State. They had a rough season. He went to A&M. The rest is history. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm looking at Rex's call. I'll get to the comments in just a second, but this Rex never holds back, so you have to get to his in a second. So it's where the team is ranked now. And your perfect example of that, Florida State is the biggest LSU fan because that's their best win right now. And it's going to get worse and worse as this goes on. So they need LSU to win big this weekend, or for their sake to hold off Alabama. they need for Alabama to not win as big as like Florida, as big as Florida State won. But they have like nothing. You want to talk about schedules? Their schedule has fallen apart because the ACC has fallen apart. That's really through no fault of their own. But the best team that they'll possibly play will be Louisville in the ACC championship game. Yeah, they're ranked number 13. Otherwise,
I mean, they already got by Duke, and they beat Clemson in overtime. So
yeah, but neither one of those teams is ranked now.
Clemson's 4-4. I don't know what Duke's probably not. I don't know what Duke is right now. Are they?
Yeah,
ranked?
I think Duke fell out too because that last one.
Okay, so their biggest win right now is the LSU, who they beat by 21, and then after that, like you said, they play Pitt Saturday. Miami is not ranked, North Alabama, and then of course they have to play Florida at the end of the season. So that should be a cakewalk, to be honest with you. They should win the next 4 out, and then they'll win the ACC. And then the question will be like, they're an undefeated ACC champion, and do they deserve to get in, or will they get in? It's just going to depend on how things play out. A cupcake conference. Yeah. Right now, that's what the ACC is. It is a cupcake conference, and to Herb's point, it is the fact that Clemson usually is the powerhouse there, and I think they were my preseason favorite to win the ACC this year, but we see what's going on with them. They're 4-4. There's a myriad of reasons of why they're 4-4. They haven't played well. I don't think
there's a what of reasons?
Myriad.
You're just okay.
Yeah, but recruiting isn't the same, and Herb and I have discussed this several times. They got lucky to have Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence back to back, and then after Trevor Lawrence, it was DJU. He was a 5-star from California, I believe, but that didn't pan out. He transferred, so now it's Cade Klubnik, aka
went back to Cali.
He went back to
except he went.
Well, he's actually in Oregon State. Yeah.
Look, I'll force it any way I can.
To make a long story short, Clemson's just not the same Clemson they used to be. So that win on Florida State's schedule doesn't really look that great.
And now you got Dabo out here yelling at callers.
He's frustrated and from
happy Halloween, Mike. Thank you, man.
Happy Halloween, Mike. From his point of view, Dabo is frustrated, and I know he's received a lot of criticism. He hears what everybody's saying, and he's got to make some big changes while he can. Otherwise, I don't know how much longer he'll be there. And it's weird to say that because he won 2 national championships, but hey, when you see how good the other teams are doing ahead of you, it's kind of like, how can I play catch up? Because they're nowhere near where Florida State is.
And Florida State, is definitely rising up in the ranks. So let's get to the comments real quick on this reveal. OSC, I'll say had the best wins out of anybody up there for sure. So no, I wasn't entirely shocked to see them jump Michigan. I just think it's maybe bad. Like, I don't know, Georgia's like the most, and I know you're only supposed to count this year, but man, they're the 2-time champ, and I was gonna leave them at 1.
That was my reasoning. My reasoning. They haven't done anything to lose, and I'll get into that once that time comes. My picks, but I
and here's
agree.
So she's Ohio State fan, of course. Surprised. Not sure they agree. I think it's because the way they've been winning is why people are looking at it. And as a Bama fan, we can certainly appreciate the defense is playing great. The offense is playing not so great. But they're winning games. And like I said, they've beaten the 2 best teams in all of these, out of all these 4. So like I said, I had them in the top 4. I had them number 2 when we were first thinking about it. So
I feel like Ohio State and Alabama are kind of playing similar football this year. Like defense is dominating the games and offense is there, but it's not what it used to be in years past.
It would, like, if they met right now, it would not be like that championship game.
It would be like
20 to 17.
20. So
It would be ugly. So, and then this is the comment that made me laugh earlier. Michigan's schedule is always terrible. I don't understand why they always rate so high. They get clapped. And you got to start thinking, and there's Mr. U maybe with a counterpoint on it. He said, that works for us. Go blue. And Mr. He was very honest about his team at the beginning of the year. They've got to win the whole thing or bust. And you start to wonder if having a weaker schedule makes you less battle tested for when the game, when the going gets tough.
I think it depends on when those tougher games are played. Take Alabama, for example. Game 2, we hosted Texas. That was a tough game for us, and obviously we were able to see how we were going to fare that early on in the season and kind of see what type of team we had. And unfortunately, things didn't go our way. But when you look at Michigan's schedule, to your point, the best team they played was Rutgers. And normally, I know they play Michigan State every year, and usually that's a decent game. But obviously, Michigan State has other things going on, and they got beat like 49-0. So it's not. And now I think it's going to come down for Michigan, those last 3 games with Penn State, Maryland, and, of course, the big one with Ohio State.
UGA strength of schedule 100, Michigan 111. So,
yeah, so
I'm also reading that Mr. Yu said, Riggs, you're incorrect. So I'm wondering if, we always get these little side conversations going in the comments. I'm wondering if they're going to happen. So we did miss one from Brian. He said it was a bittersweet weekend. And then, what did he say? A last Bedlam game coming for. Yeah. And we'll talk about that when we start to talk about the next weekend. But that's one of the things I don't like with the conference realignment and stuff, is that you just lose some traditional rivalries. Like it doesn't. I don't know. I'm old. I like things the way they have always been.
Yeah, so. You are old. Yes.
So outside the top 4, were you surprised to see Washington, Oregon at 5 and 6? What?
No. And again, I'll get into my top 6. I wasn't there. Well, actually, yeah, I was, to be honest. I was surprised to see Washington out.
Well, actually, okay, Raj. Because it's not your top 5 list. Your top 5 list is something.
No, different. I have my top 5. Okay. Yeah.
What would your top 6 have been?
Right.
I already said mine. I think Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Washington, Florida State, Oregon.
I think that's kind of close to what I had too. Okay. Keep in mind, both.
Did you just listen to mine and then bring?
No. I think both. Okay. Both of our lists, both Herb and I's lists, were made way before they did the announcement tonight on ESPN or whatever. So my top 6 was Georgia number 1, and to your point, and we both made this point. I just feel like Georgia hasn't done anything to lose their spot. 2-time reigning champ. Their schedule is pretty soft, but they haven't done anything to lose the top spot. Number 2,
and Raj, to that point, hey Brian, if Georgia and Oklahoma had played earlier this year, who would have won? Go ahead, Raj.
That would have been a good game. I think Georgia would have won, but it would have been a close game. Number 2, I had Washington, and this kind of goes to the
really.
Yes, I had Washington at number 2 because of a huge win over Oregon, and I looked at the other teams in the top 5 or 6, top 10, and that was probably one of the best wins. Not the most good wins, but one of the best wins when they beat Oregon. It was a close game, and I have a feeling that they'll see each other again in the championship game, and I have a feeling that Oregon will win that game.
Okay, so before you move on, though, Raj.
Yeah.
So you're not penalizing Washington for how bad they've looked the last couple of weeks.
No, I'm not. I'm not. They have looked bad the past couple of weeks, but they still have that huge win. So, no, I'm not penalizing them yet. Number 3, I got Florida State. They have wins over LSU and Duke. We've talked about Clemson, but that's irrelevant right now. Number 4, number 4 is where I have Ohio State. They do have the wins over the Penn State and Notre Dame. Those are
you said 3 was
Florida State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Number 4, I have Ohio State. They do have the wins. They're undefeated, but for me, the eye test is just. I don't have faith in them right now. They've got probably the best receiver in all of college football. I think McCord will get better as time progresses, maybe going into next year, but they're just not putting up a lot of points. But I still think they're one of the top 14.
I got a side question for that one.
Yes.
This is something Lady Alpha posted this past week, and I already commented on it, so I want to see if your comments line up with mine. Why isn't Marvin Harrison Jr. in more Heisman conversations?
That's a very good question. Without even looking at his stats, I want to say the last 5 or 6 games he's averaging like 100-some yards per game. That's actually a very good question. Is it because Ohio State's not blowing people out 56-7 and 35-0? Is that what?
Not even just that, but at the time the question was asked, which I want to say might have been a week or 2 ago, before the last 2 games, he wasn't like in the top 10 in a lot of receiver stats. And my comment on it was the offense is hurting him.
Yeah,
so
that's the only thing. That's the only thing I can put my finger on is just the fact that they're not blowing teams out.
Yeah,
I mean he's getting the ball. He's putting up the numbers.
Yeah,
so
they're not doing it pretty. He didn't have the numbers early on. He didn't have the numbers. I'd have to relook at him now.
Yeah.
But that was my comment exactly. Like the offense is hurting him.
Speaking of that, who was the last receiver to win a Heisman?
I don't know if it's ever been done.
Has that?
Are you saying Desmond Howard, or was there somebody after him?
I thought it was Devontae Smith. I don't know. Sorry about that. Okay. So I had Ohio State at 4. I have Michigan at 5. Schedule's soft, and I know people are going to say how you have Georgia 1, Michigan at 5. Georgia's 1 because they're the reigning 2-time champs, and they haven't lost the game. Michigan just has not played anybody that great this year.
Right.
And number 6, I have Oregon. Out of all the one-loss teams, their one loss is probably the best loss. They lost to Washington. And again, I do think they'll beat Washington in the rematch for the Pac-12 championship. Yeah. And then that's when things will get kind of crazy.
And I hope Football Talk with Bo isn't listening to this part. I hope he watched that, but I hope he's not listening to this part. I still think Oregon's a better team.
I do too. I agree.
So,
I agree. Washington barely squeaked it out. Washington won by like a field goal, I think, in that first game. But I think Oregon has the best team on both sides of the ball, and they'll win the rematch. So,
yep. Sorry, I'm gonna look up something because there's several comments going right there.
Oh yeah.
Where are you at? Oklahoma State, Texas, Quinn Ewers, Carson Beck, Dylan Gabriel. So Marvin Harrison Jr. right now, and this I don't know how accurate this is number 6 in the
Heisman?
In the Heisman odds. In the odds.
Yeah, so that's not do you have the top 5 right there in front of you?
I just looked it up, so I don't even know which so that's set by different books or whatever. I don't even know. So but Jordan Travis would be number 5 at this one. Bo Nix number 4.
No.
Jaden Daniels with number 3.
Okay.
Michigan's quarterback number 2. That can't.
No, be right. I would ahead of Harrison. I would have Penix.
Yeah, Penix is number 1.
Maybe Jordan or I would have Penix, Jaden Daniels, then maybe Harrison in there in the middle, but not that far down.
Yeah.
Again, Michigan's quarterback looks good, but they're not playing anybody.
Yeah.
And Big Mike pointed out his Harrison stats: 48 receptions for 889 yards and 8 touchdowns. So he's easily gonna have 1,000 yards this weekend. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how Michigan's QB, but hey, and shout out to Mr. U. We are talking about Michigan a lot, so shout out to Mr. U.
Yeah, I missed this one. He said he will never agree with this. I don't know which comment that was to, unless that was to talking to. I forget that Mr. U's on YouTube and Rex is on Facebook, so they might not be seeing each other. So, Rex, Mr. U, Rex, Mr. U is a huge Michigan guy, so he came on our show.
Big shout out to Mr. U. But he's not tolerating the Michigan slander right now. We still got love for you, Mr. Lou.
Yeah.
Mr. U. Sorry about that.
And to answer your question, Rex, Mr. U disagreed with your characterization of Michigan earlier. So
yes.
All right, let's catch up real quick before we move on. So and this was to hers. That the one I just looked up says it's 6, but like I said, I don't, that's different books at different information. But it's clearly because of offense, not because of his talent or his importance. So,
right.
And I disagree with a couple of those people that are ahead of him, like Raj just said.
Yeah.
Catching back up, Brian did say Georgia. He said he thinks Georgia would have been a 13.5-point favorite on the road. I definitely think Oklahoma would have covered that.
Yeah.
I think they would have stayed within that number. And it would have been a good game. So I kind of hate that we had to miss out on that. OSU, Georgia, Florida State, Michigan, Washington. Yeah, so he's almost
like the same.
He just a 3 and 4.
Yeah.
I think Florida State's just in the worst position. If Alabama does beat LSU and then LSU drops another game to roll on the way, they're just going to look terrible. They're going to have to win every game.
Florida State.
Florida State.
Yeah, the thing is that Florida State, like we said, if they win out and win the ACC, it's going to be like, you're an undefeated ACC champion, but there's not much competition over there. So their true test will be, okay, well, let me ask you this. If Florida State wins out and wins the ACC, are they in the playoff?
Man, probably. Okay, so Georgia in this scenario wins out. Let's say they win out, right? Ohio State or Michigan knocks each other out.
Right.
Washington or Oregon is in.
We both think it's going to be Oregon.
Yeah, let's say Oregon wins that rematch and Oregon is in. Texas or Oklahoma. Texas and Oklahoma not even guaranteed to play each other right now.
Yeah.
But I'll say this: if let's say Oklahoma wins the rematch, I would take a 1-loss Oklahoma having beaten Texas twice over an undefeated Florida State.
Let me interrupt you right there. Texas is going to lose a game before they play OU. If they play OU again,
then that just looks worse. If Oklahoma beats Texas, a 3-loss Texas, then it's just worse for the Big 12.
Yeah.
So it's it's so much. It's so much.
So what is your yes or no? Is Oregon in or is who is I even talking
Florida
about?
State.
Is Florida State in if they win out? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's fair.
That might be the least confident yes.
I know.
In the history.
My answer was yes too, but it's kind of like, ugh.
I mean, so much other stuff. I mean, I would take a 1-loss Pac-12 champ and a 1-loss Big 12 champ over the undefeated Florida State. I'll say that right now.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get this. This is what I love about Brian. He says, here's his top 5, and it should be based on this year, and then he gives us 6 teams. So,
yeah.
But that's why I love Brian. Brian's my boy.
But he makes a good
Georgia,
point.
Florida State, Washington, Michigan. Oh, he is right. No. Yeah. So when I talk about Georgia, it is 100% the wrong way to think about it. It's like when they do the Heisman and they're like, well, this is what he's done over his 3 years of school. No, it's supposed to be based on 1 year. So he's 1,000% right. But I'm still going with what I think. I would leave it. Plus, selfishly, I don't like to see them get disrespected because I don't want them to have a chip on their shoulder. Like we need to we need a more relaxed Georgia. We don't need them to have any
that's true. And wasn't it you that pointed out, or somebody that said no preseason number one has won the national title, or
it wasn't me, but that was somebody on our show or something in one of our shows. So now you have to go back and rewatch all our shows to figure out.
I know, I'm not doing that.
Rex came in with the Smitty. That's my boy. I'm really happy to hit it. So I had a Philly shirt that I was going to wear tonight, but I'll tell you why off there. So gave that. Rex is not on board with the Michigan quarterback. I was kind of surprised to see him that high. So
I wouldn't.
And Brian said the same thing. He's top 5. I just didn't realize his stats was there. So the slander is ridiculous. But we love you, man. And Michigan's going to have a chance to prove themselves. They still have Penn State. They got Ohio State. So they win those 2 games, everybody shuts up. So, Mr. You said let's have coffee, Rex. They get along. They're both very, very strong-willed and opinionated guys, but they both back up what they say. So I'd love to see. All I have to say is if you guys are going to have that conversation, I want to be around for it.
Yes, please.
It's like that all the time. Clemson was run. The Kate walked in and said, "Yep." So I agree with that. And another point to that, that's why we talk about the SEC so much, is because you get beat up even by the lesser teams in this conference. So that's why the Pac-12 didn't have a lot of respect for a lot of years, because they weren't playing defense. And I think teams like Oregon and Utah are trying to change that.
This year just happens to be some sort of anomaly. Did I just say that right?
You already used myriad, so you can't keep
I got one more. I got one more in my pocket over here. So wait.
Okay. Just go back to the first one. I don't know if that's the shows.
Shout out to Willie. What's going on, Willie?
Yep. Willie's trying to check on him because I said he doesn't check on us enough. So,
Willie, we appreciate you.
There's 6th in receiving yards, a 5th in receiving. Yep. So when I posted, I want to say it was at least 2 weeks ago, because he was much farther down on both those lists. So he's definitely gained. I said good.
What do you think Marvin Harrison's stats would look like if he was at Alabama this year?
I mean, one game he'd have 100 yards receiving, and the next game he'd have 12. It'd be he would, and I remember when Jalen Hurts first started. You remember Calvin Ridley's body language in a lot of those games?
He was not happy.
He was not happy a lot,
especially in the national championship game against Georgia. Calvin Ridley was like, "Dude, I'm wide open. You just cannot hit me."
Yeah. And that's Jalen has developed a lot. So I hope nobody thinks there's Jalen slander, but at the beginning he was still developing, and that's a fact. So, I feel like that's what Marvin Harris will be going through. So, OU still has a 47-game win streak record, and I want to see that broken, so Georgia got to lose soon. They have their roughest tests coming up with Missouri, Ole Miss, and Tennessee, but I don't think any of those teams are good enough to beat them. So,
shout out to Missouri. Missouri's having a good season this year. So good for them.
I think sometimes people forget that they won 2 SEC championships when they first got here, and then they just kind of disappeared for years. So, Willie says JJ is kind of small. Yeah, but Devontae was kind of small. So Alabama fans, we're always with it. So and I think that's the SEC bloodbath every week.
Yeah.
She is going to be hurting a little bit. Wayne Williams out for the rest of the season. Yeah. And that's the thing about you playing these kind of tough physical games, man. You get those injuries. But I also think with the transfer pool and stuff moving around, your depth is just not the same as it may have been in the past. So it's harder.
I agree.
It really does say the first show, with that QB, like Tay-Tay in Vegas, Oh Lord, I don't know if you want to talk about that Raiders game, but that was
Devontae
was watching. He was watching Twitter today, like this, am I being traded?
Devontae Adams is not happy there. He tried during his last interview, I think it was yesterday. He tried as hard as he can to refrain from saying anything that was going to be. Seem as harmful towards the team, but you could tell he's PO'd. He does not want to be there anywhere but there. He's an excellent receiver, one of the best receivers in the league, but he's just not being utilized well.
How do you go a whole half with you have a Devontae Adams?
I don't understand that.
And Jacoby Myers is underneath, and you got Hunter Renfrow, who we all hate, but he's still a great receiver.
Yeah, he's a good.
And you go a whole half without a reception to a wide receiver. This doesn't make any sense. So I will say it for him. Jimmy is crap. The Raiders. I mean, it's just. You can't say there's not talent there. The defense, I think, is a top 10 defense. They have the weapons on offense. You have the rushing champ from last year, Josh Jacobs. Like, it just doesn't make any sense what they're going for. So, yeah, Willie's going off on these people.
Well, Willie's a Raiders fan, right?
Yeah, he's a Raiders fan, so he's
just as pissed as Davante Adams is.
Yeah,
so,
he calls it like he sees it, though. So he's one of those. It's not going to be homerism. It's going to be, hey, what I like, what I see out there is not good. So
now Willie did have a good question that I wanted to get your take on too.
I'm gonna get that. Let me catch up with these two. Yeah, Ridley was not happy with. I just remember seeing him like, I thought he was about to pull an AB and just walk off the field at one point.
Just take his pads off and get out.
Just take his pads off. Yep. So, and then Missouri never. That goes back to the Oklahoma Missouri game day. So I know which question you're looking at.
Yep.
Who has the better game? I was not a Bama fan, I would clearly say Jayden Daniels will have the better game. I don't know that Milroe is built exactly enough to take advantage of LSU's deficiencies.
Right.
But Alabama's I think for Alabama, he just needs some sustained drives. Like, it can't be the home runs every time. So it's got to be some, 10, 12 play drives. I think that's it. And maybe that's not great for Milroe, but if you can churn out some runs and hit some short passes, maybe he doesn't have the stats, but that's a good game for us.
Exactly.
So, and especially if we're going to try to win a higher scoring game, Jayden Daniels might have the better stats, but Milroe doesn't have to have the better stats for us to win that game.
I agree 1,000%. I think Jayden's going to have the better stats at the end of the game, but Milroe doesn't need to throw for 350 yards. He's just got to be able to, like you said, sustain the drives and just move the ball up the field and use a run option from time to time. Use that even more than we did, especially the last game. We showed glimpses of it throughout the season, but we haven't utilized it as much as we need to. So Milroe he's not going to be asked to do as much as Jayden Daniels is going to have to do.
Yep. I agree. I don't know how we even got to a Raiders conversation in the middle of the
talking about
football playoffs. Yeah. But Willie is going off. And I think Rex chimed in dysfunctional organization. So, and then where was it? Yeah. They may have quit. I mean, if you see the way the game is going, it's one thing if you just know that, like, let's say Carolina, your team isn't that great. You still don't have the talent. So it's a tough year. But the Raiders have talent. They have stars at key spots. So for them to be this bad that's tough to watch. And then your coach is just terrible. I mean, Daniel's just not doing a good job. So is Jimmy G worse than Daniel Jones?
I don't think so. But Daniel Jones,
the fact that you're not sure though doesn't help.
Daniel Jones is just taking a beating this year, man. And I've joked on this a few times that every time Daniel Jones gets tackled, he's tough. That's not a compliment that he's tough. Okay. You're basically just saying your O-line's not doing the job. And the Giants have drafted like O-lines over the past few drafts, but apparently it's not.
Let's not talk about that because Neal is not working out. So let's not.
Sorry about that.
So, and if Mr. U's still out there, he's not gonna like it. Jayden has a better game. Milroe gets the win. Yep.
I think Mr. U logged off. He was tired of the Michigan slander.
Well, Mr. U's a busy man though, so he might even be on the show tonight too. And this will definitely it'll be like a 35-24 type game. But not 93. We'll surpass that probably first 6 minutes of the game. So. Yeah. And so Brian and Willie are on the show together. So some of those comments, I'm gonna let them sort it out tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Central. So I'll definitely tune in and see if any of these comments come back to bite them. So so that was the top 10. That kind of went
that was a lot.
Crazy. Yeah. So covered FSU, Georgia's schedule. Washington has a tough schedule coming up too, by the way, with them sitting right on the outside. USC, Utah, and Oregon State. So no gimmies in the Pac-12. And then that
who is Washington? Let's see. Who does Washington have coming up? Okay, so they have.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to you.
USC, Utah, Oregon State.
Let's start with USC. USC has no defense at all.
Right.
Come on. They have no defense. I think Washington will outscore them, and Washington has a better defense. Utah has a good defense. The offense doesn't look that great, and Cam Rising's out for the year, right? We know that he's not coming back. Now, the Oregon State game, I think that's going to be the toughest one because they probably have the best defense out of the 4 remaining teams. So that could be tricky, and it's at Oregon State. Right. Let's be honest, that's not like far. It's not like cross country. Washington, Oregon State, you're right there.
And then not like what they're going to be doing when they move conferences.
Yeah, I think Washington's going to win out, and then they're going to lose to Oregon in the Pac-12 championship.
Yeah. That's how I think it's going to play out. So we're going to have to ask Football Talk with Bo what he thinks about your terrible predictions, though.
Yeah.
All right, Raj, where do you want to go? Wow, we got through half the show with just
we did
with that in the playoffs. So they're definitely interested. Oh, I got to give you a few seconds. What do you think about this weekend's game?
I am,
and to put a point on that, I think we're probably, the way it goes, have a little bit more to talk about this on our college football predictions too as well.
Yeah.
And this is such a big game and it's late. We'll probably release a short that day leading up to it as well. I will be drinking copious amounts of alcohol.
Copious, huh? Okay.
Yes, to prepare for this game. This is going to be a heart attack game.
Well, you're not going to be asleep when the game comes on, are you?
No.
Okay.
I'll take a nap. What's the game? Is 6:30 or 6:45?
6:45, I think. Yeah.
I'll take from 6:32 to 6:37. I'll get a quick nap in.
Wow. Okay.
Very specific, Raj. Very specific.
I feel like the build up to this game is what's really, really bothering me. This whole week in advance. Well, actually 2 weeks because we had a bye week, and then when Saturday comes. You wake up, do whatever chores you have in the morning, take care of the kids, blah, blah. Then you have to wait till 6:45. You got to wait all day Saturday. And the buildup is just really what's eating away at me. I am slightly nervous about the game because of LSU's offense and the numbers that they've been putting up. But I'm also excited about what our offense can do to their defense. I think they have the 12th ranked defense in the SEC out of obviously 14 teams. So their defense is horrible.
I was trying to think how many teams. I was like, so who's behind them?
It's 14 teams. They're giving up 26 points a game, allowing like 238 passing yards and 156 rushing yards. So our offense should have a field day. It's just, can Jalen put it together? Can he make the right reads?
Please don't start off like you did the Tennessee game.
Do not. And that some of this is going into my top 5. So let me know when you're ready for that.
Oh, you know what? That's it. Oh, and by the way, Corpus Christi. Yes, I will be drinking enough for the whole whole school. So for sure.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get where's your little you need some music. Do, 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 do. Oh, I forgot it's under banners. I gotta navigate this a little bit better.
Yes, you do.
Raj is top five things Raj is looking forward to in this weekend's game.
Yes. Number 1. Fast start on offense by Alabama. I need Alabama to score on the opening drive, whether we get the ball first or whatever the case may be. On our opening drive, our first possession, Alabama has to score a touchdown. We cannot afford to go 3 and out, take a sack, etc., punt the ball, because once they get the ball, I guarantee you they're probably going to score early, and we can't afford to fall behind. If we fall behind, it's not going to be like it was Tennessee when we're 27 and we come back. If they're up 27.5, they're gonna try to double that.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're not going to win. So we have to have a fast start on offense. Number 2, Milroe's only thrown for 300 passing yards once this year, and that was against a really good A&M front 7. So my number 2 is I want to see at least 300 passing yards. I think he can get it done against this defense. He's obviously really, really good at the long ball. The question is he going to be able to make those 10 to 15-yard short passes and drive the ball up the field?
Yeah.
I think we got the receivers. Jermaine Burton should have a really, really big day. Bond. I want to see Niblack being used too.
How come when you say Bond, you don't go Bond? Isaiah Bond.
Bond.
Like
Isaiah Bond.
Okay.
Shaking nut.
Okay.
Sorry. Number 3, pressure. We have to put as much pressure as we can on.
So we need him to be under pressure. Under pressure.
All right. Now I that sounds somewhat familiar, but what is the name of the song? Who sings that?
So the reason why it sounds familiar is because I think that's Ice Ice Baby stole that. So yes, he stole that. That is not his song though.
All right, stop. Collaborate.
Okay. You can stop.
Number 3, pressure. By pressure, I mean putting pressure on Jayden Daniels. I think our front 7 needs to get up there and get in his face. Linebackers, everybody.
Under pressure is by Queen.
Okay, by Queen. We are the champions, my friend. Anyway,
we'll keep on fighting.
Okay, we're getting way off. I don't know what's going on today. Maybe it's Halloween.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got to pressure Jayden Daniels as much as we can. We know he can run. We know he can pass, but we've got to force him and make him uncomfortable. Number 4, and this is going to be very difficult to do. Jayden Daniels is thrown for 25 touchdowns and 3 interceptions all year. I would like to see us get his 4th interception.
And 5th.
And 5th. Hey, 2. Herb, are you guaranteeing us 2 interceptions this weekend?
Are you not calling for a pick 6? Like, this is the first time ever.
I thought about it, and I was going to type that up, but I thought that might be a little too greedy, so I just want to see an interception.
Okay.
So
I'm down with that.
Interception. And number 5, you're going to like this one.
Interception. Okay.
Back in 2018, Alabama was beating LSU 22-0 in like the third quarter, or going into the fourth quarter almost. and the camera on TV, the camera panned to a young lady, young redheaded lady, who was an LSU fan who looked extremely disgruntled. I wish we could put the picture up, but we haven't got that far yet. We'll talk to her in our next budget meeting. And she was a disgruntled LSU fan. She had the face. Do the face, Herb. She looked just like that. I want to see one of those memes going into the fourth quarter of another LSU fan that looks extremely disgruntled, depressed, dejected, disheartened. Can't think of another bad D word.
Would you do word of the day toilet paper today?
I know, but that's what I want to see because Alabama's winning the game so well, doing so well, and playing so well. So those are the 5 things I want to see.
I'm down with that. I was going to try and find it, but you stopped talking. So,
and I am giving a prediction.
You can do that. You have to come to our YouTube channel to watch.
Okay, cool.
You get the prediction. That's a teaser.
Yes.
So, I think the no was clearly to my singing, which is fair.
Even Brian, dude, no. And Brian, Brian makes a good point, but
Brian's uninvited from the show.
Yeah, we don't want to get into a shootout with LSU because we're going to end up shooting ourselves in the foot.
This is why we love Mike.
Bama by 10. Yeah, my prediction is 35-24. 35-24. So I'll take Bama by 10. I think the line initially was 4.5, but now it's like Bama by 3.
Yeah.
So
which I think is more fair. I would have put it at 2.5 or equal. Home field advantage is all we really have in this game.
Yeah. So, and defense. We have the defense too.
Yeah, we have the defense too. True.
Yep.
All right, Raj. Let me see. Can we actually do this or no?
What are we trying to do?
I can't tell you.
I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to find that girl's face.
I mean, I can find her face. That ain't nothing.
Okay. Willie says LSU 68, Alabama 67.5. Wow. If we somehow manage to get a half point in this game, this will be pretty awesome. I don't even care if we lose. If we can get a half point and just kind of figure that out, that'll be pretty cool.
I wonder if they're going to talk about this on tomorrow night's show.
What?
And so, yes, the defense needs to practice control. I agree. Yeah. Can't let it. I think they call it like a muddle rush. Like, just can't let him out the pocket. Can't let him
mush rush.
Yeah, mush rush. There you go.
Yes.
All right, Raj. Like maybe she thinks the game is putrid. Yes, that's my word. So, I'll probably do my prediction then on the show. Plus, I also heard you ran into a drunk LSU fan this week, so I think.
Yeah, that was weird. I was hanging out with Big Mike, and we ran into this really, really crazy drunk LSU guy who had an extremely tight shirt on. Said "Go Tiger." I don't know when he purchased it. Was it too small, or we watched it a couple times? But yeah,
all right, that's enough.
His tummy was
anyway. Tune into Alabama versus the world as well. Jeez.
Right. Yes.
All right. So before we get into some NFL, because it went crazy.
Yes.
Wake up this morning very early, and apparently James Harden moved overnight.
Yeah, who was even up to how does that happen? I thought people go to bed around but I guess when you're a management and you got 2 or 3 cell phones, you're always working. So
yeah.
Go ahead, finish.
You're saying it. What was the whole let's wait till the last moment? Like, what was the breaking point? What happened overnight that made them think? Okay,
that's what I'm trying to figure out. I guess they were trying to just see what they could get out of the trade or whatever. But apparently somebody just said, "Forget it. Let's just let him go." The season started. He's not making the road trips. He's not going to play. We've got to do whatever we can. So James Harden is now on the Los Angeles Clippers.
Yes.
So
he'll be joining PJ Tucker and some dude I've never heard of.
Yeah. That's how these big trades happen. It's like one main guy, somebody like PJ Tucker's no longer. He's never really been a main guy. He's just a defensive guy. Maybe
I think he's
got a big sneaker collection.
Yeah, he's gonna be which is surprising me. I think he's gonna be more important than we realize though in this trade. So I do think he'll get a lot of playing time. But Robert Covington, Nicholas Batum, Marcus Morris, who's kind of really fallen out of favor. What's the name? Lil Martin. What's his name?
Martin? Is that a comedian? What is it?
No, it's Kenyon Martin's son. Kenyon Martin.
Oh, Kenyon Martin. Oh, yeah,
and then a bunch of draft picks. So, I was listening to podcasts today. Everybody has graded this trade different. Some people are excited on one end. Like, what was your initial take on it?
I feel like Philly kind of may have won the trade a little bit. I feel like they got rid of that card and whatever contract he was in, and
most
of all, Philly got rid of Harden. Okay, he didn't want to be there. They don't have to deal with that locker room distraction. I'm sorry. Well, I guess in some way it was kind of an extraction as well. Anyway, they got their number 1 and 2. They got 1 and B. They got Maxey at 2. They got Tobias Harris, who's still a great shooter, number 3. They got Philly's still a good team. even with Harden, they weren't winning the East anyway. So, I mean, they're pretty much at the same spot they were already at. Yeah. When you look at the Clippers, and some people might just look at it on paper like, look at all, they got like 4 Hall of Famers on the team, but they have one basketball. It's going to be interesting to see what the new lineup is going to be. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Just to that point. So one of the things I was listening to said that those guys have actually been in contact, and Kawhi Leonard of all people was one of the people really like pushing for this as well. So it might not be as weird as.
There she is. Yes, there is Rebecca.
Did you just name her?
I named her Rebecca. I don't know the young lady's name, but we'll figure it out.
Okay. That they have actually been pushing for this, and Kawhi has been basically saying like, I'm, can't expect us to carry the team like this, blah blah. So they're actually 1,000.
1,000.
Sorry, Willie threw me off with that comment. 1,000% behind the trade. So they wanted this to happen. Now,
because you would think that Kawhi Leonard might not want this to happen, because when it first started, it was just him and PG3. Then Russ came, and if Russ coming off the bench, that's cool. Russ is still a heck of a player, regardless of what happened with him with the Lakers. Yeah. So I don't know. I just don't know how hard he's going to fit in. I don't think it makes the Clippers worse. And I think at the end of the day, if Kawhi Leonard and Paul George can't stay healthy, then the Clippers.
And that's what I think is going to happen. They're going to get to the playoffs, and James Harden's going to be out there by himself. Yeah. The person who's the maddest about this is Russ, because now he's got to go back to the bench.
Now he's
So he's like, I just resigned for the minimum.
I played with this guy at OKC. I played with him at Houston. Now here he is. He just following me all over. Well, actually, this time he's following you. But yeah. Can we click on Rex's joke again? Rex, we love you, Rex. But this joke we laughed because it was bad. That was just a bad joke, man. The team
Rex gonna come after you.
that was corny. You got to come stronger than that, Rex.
Now we're corny though.
Yeah, we're very corny. That's why we expect more than Rex.
So somebody has to carry us.
Yes.
Somebody else do the good joke. So Mike thinks Philly won that trade.
I said, I think they're fine with the way they are. I don't think Philly got worse. I don't think they got really that much better. But
it's hard to call it a loss when you trade away a guy who wasn't going to play for you anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And they put the picks out far enough away to where Clips would definitely be bad by the time they come in. So Harden's been traded. I miss Sharif Abdul-Rahim and the Vancouver Grizzlies.
What about Big Country?
And I forgot about Big Country. Mike did be back when he started going up. So
what was his name? Brian Big Country
Reeves?
Brian Reeves, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Why do I remember that? So
was
that Taylor Swift after the Chiefs game last week? No, that was her cousin.
Speaking of the Chiefs games, they're playing my Miami Dolphins in Frankfurt, Germany Sunday. I hope she's not at the game. I think I heard something like she's going to be on a European tour, so she will be at the game, but I hope she's not there so the Chiefs play bad.
I was trying to think of a good Taylor Swift lyric to throw in there, but I didn't. So
yes,
James Frauden. Yes, that is
true.
Yeah. Rex actually laughed at your corniness, so and he agrees with Mike.
Rex, we're still cool. Rex, we're still cool. Next joke. Rex, you got 1 minute to come with a harder joke than the general electric.
Wait, hold on. I veto that. You can't put the jokes on a timer. The jokes got to flow.
Rex, 55 seconds.
Oh, my God.
55 seconds.
And everybody agrees Harden's gone. Embiid was about ready.
Embiid, you could tell because the reporters would ask Embiid a question, and Embiid's just like, listen, he's not here. He doesn't want to be here. What do you want me to do? I'm not going to keep calling and texting the guy. If he doesn't want to play, he doesn't want to play.
So if you do tune into Willie's show tomorrow, and I agree, I mean, it is up to Embiid. He's not like he ran the guy off. James Harden was mad at one person. That was Morey. So
he was, and he told everybody, and he didn't want to be there. So
the trolling of the Chiefs tomorrow. Tisha, big Chiefs fan, and that's how the show started. Show divided, Raiders versus Chiefs.
Yeah,
was talking a lot of trash on last week's show. Basically said it was impossible for Denver to beat Kansas City. So
I thought it was impossible too, but apparently I was wrong.
And look at Brian turned his back on her. Let's see, they don't get many opportunities. You're right. Like this is gonna be a rough show for her. So
Rex, you got 20 seconds.
Oh my God, are you really timing the man?
No, I'm not. I'm just joking.
You're gonna lose all our sponsors, Raj. All right, Raj. So that was the NBA. Oh, you know what? You got a second in here.
Yeah.
Why don't we do a Lakers 33 seconds?
Yeah, that's fine.
And go.
All right, so the Lakers beat the Magic last night.
You don't even sound excited. Like, what is going on?
I'm getting into it. I'm happy that the Lakers won. They're 2-2 to start off the season, but we just don't look good early on in the season. I would like Gabe Vincent to come off the bench and get started and put up some better numbers. D'Angelo Russell had a great game last night. I think he had 26 points last night. So he played well. AD played well. That's good. But I just feel like once it gets closer to playoff time, I mean, I still think we need that shooter, that young shooter on our team that can get you like 20, 25 points a game. We just don't have that right now. But we're 2-2. It's hard to fit
that in when a team with LeBron and
exactly.
AD.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
We're 2-2, and then we play the Clippers tomorrow, so we'll probably lose that game because we've lost. We haven't beat the Clippers since like 1986 or something. I don't know. It's been a while.
Can you imagine a podcast with the tree? Yeah. Guess what? That's tomorrow night. That's the show divided tomorrow night, and depends on which side. If Brian checks in with Jacksonville, then you have a win. But if he checks in with Oklahoma, it's going to be a very sad show tomorrow. So. AD is a monster. It's just like, can he keep it up? That the second half of Denver makes it look worse.
And can he stay healthy? He's averaging 25 or 26 a game. So he's having an excellent season. Averaging 26 points, 13 rebounds a game. The problem is, can he stay healthy? And
Guess to wear a Chiefs hat. Would you do that? Like if we lost to Auburn, would you wear an Auburn hat on the show?
No, I don't think I could do that. I feel like my head would melt.
Yeah, probably. I don't think I could do it. So. He says it's an NFL show, so he's checking in with the Jaguars. I like it, Brian. I like it.
Jaguars are 6-2, I believe.
Yep. Had an ugly game against Pittsburgh this past weekend, but
they won.
As an Alabama fan, we can't talk about ugly wins. So you take everything you could get. So I don't think that team has quite come together yet, but you're 6-2, you're leading your division. Your division looks like it's trash. So I think you have time to get together. And I mean, the NFL is just. It's just all over the place. Oh, so you lost the trade deadline today. I guess that's a good segue. Segue. Did anything jump out at you? Good, bad? What your Dolphins didn't really make a move.
I was. I don't know if I was surprised the Dolphins didn't make a trade. I mean, we look pretty good they are, but I've told you that I wish we could get Patrick Surtain on our team or another DB back there. But I didn't think it was going to happen. That was just a hopeful wish, I guess. But the Chase Young trade jumped out to me. Now Chase Young's going to be on a 49ers defense, which is already pretty stout. Yep. Him and Nick Bosa. Is it Nick? Yeah, Nick Bosa. I always get Nick and Joey mixed up. Joey's on the Chargers.
Yeah, Joey's the one that's named Joey, and Nick's named Nick. It's like if somebody's like, I get Herb and Raj mixed up. Well, Herb is the Herb guy, and Raj is the other one.
So now you got to play against a team who's going to have Nick Bosa and Chase Young coming at you every game. So that's going to be difficult. I mean, the 49ers still have the offensive situation going on, so they need to get Deebo Samuel back as quick as possible.
Yep.
Other than that, I think Sweat got traded to –
That was terrible. That was just terrible.
What was going on?
Chase Young and Nick was unbelievable. And the Commanders GM he was just like, whatever, here we go. Everybody's got to go. So
yeah.
Personally, my choice would have just some straight whiskey, but he was going nuts.
All right, Bears, hold on. That joke right there, I'll give that was better than Rex's last General Electric machine joke. So Rex, you have redeemed yourself. I'll take that one.
I'm gonna give you Rex's other comment. This is what he had to say to your little timeline.
What do you have to say? That?
Yeah.
Sorry, Rex.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of Rexes. I know Rex Chapman. He was pretty cool. He's a great shooter.
Yeah. I used to work with Rex, so we went through the.
You used to work with Rex Chapman?
Yes, Raj. I used to work with Rex Chapman.
Wow. Did you ask him about that one game where he put Michael Jordan?
So I don't understand Chicago trading for Sweat. Like I don't get it. And now they have to negotiate with this guy. He's gonna be a free agent at the end of the year. It's like they thought that they were about to compete, and all they needed was one player. No, you need like everything. Like it doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know. So, I don't think Chicago understands anything they're doing this entire year. And I think Justin Fields is just standing on the sideline like, thank goodness I'm not going out there getting hit all the time.
Yep. Hey, there goes football talk with Bo. What was it I told you? Oh, Bo, are we wrong that we think Oregon's going to win the rematch with Washington? Like, how bad off are we?
Herb and I both agree Oregon's going to win the Pac-12 and win out.
All right, so Mike is also upset. He said he needs more O-line help.
Yeah,
you
guys
have been talking about that since the offseason.
That's going to be evident this Sunday, especially when we play that KC defense. I still think we could definitely use some more help on the O-line.
Yep.
And
I agree with this. That's why I don't get what they were doing. I don't get the trade. And what was it, a second or third round for Sweat? So, and like last year was a second round for Claypool. Like, what are y'all doing? You need.
I don't know. I don't know. And keep in mind when people say dumpster fire, shout out to Bo. There's trash and then there's dumpster fire. Trash is like it's bad. Dumpster fire means it's beyond bad. Like we have no idea what the Bears are doing this year.
They don't have any idea.
And I forgot that the Bears quarterback the past 2 games. The one thing that stood out to me was like I remember his last name Badgett because I was like that name sounds familiar. But remember his dad is like a 25-time champion arm wrestler or whatever. He's like one of the best arm wrestlers ever. I remember that guy.
Right.
Travis Beck. Yeah, that's just a side note, and that was absolutely
Thanks.
irrelevant to everything I just said. So sorry, guys. I just kind of got off on a tangent. Big word. For now, whenever we say big word, you got to say big word after you say the big word.
No, I'm not following any of your rules.
Yes.
Josh Dobbs to the Vikings. I thought that was kind of a placeholder. Kind of like he'll be a free agent
kind of like a bridge quarterback. Yeah,
it might not be in the Vikings' best interest anyway to continue. I know they got to 4-4, but tanking is not the worst thing for them, especially if Cousins, it does walk at the end of the year. They've got some good young talent, especially the wide receiver position. So pivoting to a younger QB is not going to be the worst thing. So what was the other one? Jags traded for. I saw that, and they got high marks for that. So. And the young man's name escapes me, but I remember reading the grades on it. It was like an A-, I think, as far as ESPN. So they did that. Bo's always diplomatic. I wanted him to come on and tell him you guys are wrong and Washington's going to smoke them. But it's going to be.
Bo is probably chilling right now. Like, why is Herman Raj asking these questions? I'm just sitting at home relaxing. But no, it could go either way. But I think we're both leaning towards the Ducks in the rematch.
Yep. And the Bears are dumpster fire the Raiders. Willie is not happy with the Raiders.
His Raiders are horrible.
Yep.
Sorry, Willie, but the Raiders are horrible.
Yep. And Dobbs, is that the lineman that we're thinking about? So Bo's the man when it comes to I should say everybody else.
Shout out to Football Talk with Bo. And
he was on our preview show, so we'll have to get them back on here to talk about who was right and who was wrong at the end of the year.
Oh, Lady Alpha. Supercalifragilistic I haven't said that.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound, yes, big word.
Big word.
All right. So, and that's the reason why that comes. They play football in Las Vegas. Oh, tomorrow I will be tuning in tomorrow night to hear the talk about this. So the Jacksonville. Did you ever think you'd see the day where the Jacksonville fan is going to troll the Raiders and the Chiefs?
I never thought I'd see this.
So.
And what time again? Tomorrow night for
6 o'clock, 6 p.m. Central. Yeah, okay. I'm leaning Huskies, but I'm Huskies. Yeah, but Bo, we're very biased on the show. We want everybody to show their biases. Anyway,
small word.
Yes. And I love Penix, man. I just feel like Oregon's the overall better team. But man, if Penix can pull it out, I would love it. I'd probably catapult him to. Do they Heisman before the Pac-12 championship game?
I forget. I just wish an Alabama player would be in the mix.
To the fellas YouTube channel. Yes, everybody on here is on there somewhere, so everybody should be looking for each of us.
Yeah.
So, and what is this? That day is now. Yep, that's for the trolling part. I'll be tuning in tomorrow night. So.
Yeah.
Oh, you getting trolled too?
Can you make me an old fashioned? Thank you, Bob. Good.
Oh, Bob is back.
Bob is back. I rehired him.
Yep. So true, but both, This is truly the year where they should have the expanded playoffs because you're gonna see if Oregon and Washington both win out and Oregon wins the rematch, both those teams should be in the playoffs.
They'll both be worthy. Yes.
Yeah, they'll be worthy. Yes. And there goes. Brian's got your back. Washington will beat Oregon. So I like it. All right, Rod. We're getting towards the end of the show.
Yep.
You want to throw out a couple questions of death real quick?
Go ahead. You got him?
Yeah, I got him.
Let's do it.
I got them. So you ready?
Yep.
And they're still talking some trash over on the comment section.
Hey, let him go. Let him go.
The final four.
Okay.
For the college football playoffs.
Okay.
And you have to tell me who you'll be rooting for.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
I'm not
Georgia,
rooting for Auburn. Okay.
Who's going for the three-peat?
Okay.
Auburn, Tennessee, and LSU.
Okay, I'm not going to root for Georgia because I don't want them to three-peat.
I figured that.
I completely dislike Auburn for obvious reasons. I don't like Tennessee because of what Irvin Carney said about them snitching and their lowdown, and they've got ugly uniforms. So this just leaves LSU. I guess I'll root for LSU. Shaq was always one of my favorite centers. He went to LSU. I don't know. I don't really have any ties there. Naming things.
So you're just not rooting for the other ones.
At a process of elimination, I'm going to go with LSU.
Yeah. Okay. Because you mentioned Shaq, that's a good segue into the next question. You have work, play, live.
Okay.
Shaq.
Okay.
Joe Burrow. This is the LSU edition if you hadn't
noticed.
Okay. Shaq, Joe Burrow, Angel Reese.
I'm playing with Angel Reese.
You shouldn't start with that one though. Like
you asked me the question.
Say the other two and then go. Okay. Well, I guess I'm left with.
We're gonna do a rewind. I'm going to work with Shaq. I'm going to work with Shaq because he has a good business acumen. Big word. He owns a lot of businesses. He's got a lot of money. Appreciate you, Bo. I'm gonna live next to Joe Burrow. He's just super cool. We could have some good yard talk. Just, hey man, grass looks nice. I'm playing with Angel Reese, buddy.
You know what you're supposed to do is go. Who was the last person again?
No, I remember her name. She's a tall, nice, looking young lady. So we can play hoops and shoot the basketball.
All righty.
Yes.
Hope people don't watch this episode.
Yes.
Rex also said he could be okay with LSU, so there's a couple of them there. This is what we're talking about. Bo had to jump off. Bo's a busy man. He's a very popular guy, so he's all over the place. And the strength of schedule, that's why the Pac-12 should have more than one. If any league should, the Pac-12 should definitely. He said it's going to be a mess in the season. That's one of the reasons why. There's just too much going on and too many good teams outside the ACC. So all right, your last one. This is going to be a little goofy one. So if you had to replace the coach, offensive and defensive coordinator at Bama, but in honor of Halloween, you have to pick some movie monsters for each position. Who are you picking?
For offensive and defensive coordinator?
And head coach.
Movie monsters. This is weird.
It's Halloween, buddy.
For defensive coordinator,
I'm at Cap Crystal Lake. What do you think was going to happen?
For defensive coordinator, I'm probably going to get Jason Voorhees. I think he was just the strongest, extremely intimidating. He won't really have to say much. Obviously, he can't talk. He's been dead for like decades. But I think the defense will be so scared to make any mistakes that they won't make any mistakes. Right. Offensive coordinator. I'm going to go with Freddie. Freddie's method of killing people, as far as waiting until they go to sleep, is very, very intelligent and methodical. So I feel like Freddie will pick out some plays that nobody else has ever seen. Hopefully they'll be legal. And we'll score a lot of points.
No stabbing anyone while they're out there.
For coach, now
you can expand the thing a monster. You could have like a Godzilla out there.
Not for my head coach. I don't think Godzilla would kind of relate to some of the younger players.
That's the reason why he would be.
I don't know for coach. I kind of like Chucky because Chucky's kind of funny. Chucky's funny, and I think some of the younger players will like being around. But I think I don't know. I feel like he might kill somebody if they throw an interception, though.
But the other guys are just going to be regular?
No, I'm going to stick with Chucky. That was my answer.
Yeah, I like that pick, Roger. It made me laugh. Yeah. So that's good. All right. I told you it was going to be weird, but it's in honor of Halloween. So.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, we can't forget that.
Shout out to the GOAT.
Of all time, Nick Saban. Yep.
Yes.
We remember what it was like, right? We got here when it was bad.
Yes.
So we remember what football was, Alabama was right.
Herb and I moved to Tuscaloosa in 1994. We actually went 12-1 that season. I don't know if you remember that. We went 12-1 our first year.
I think I was just getting used to what football was.
And we lost the SEC championship to Florida because Florida won we won the very first one, but then Florida won 4 in a row. But then after that, like Herb was mentioning, we had some rough years, a couple of 5-win teams, 6 wins, 7 wins. We went up and down. And then Nick Saban came and saved the day.
He also goes with Michael Myers on there too.
All right, is that a joke from Rex? Are we counting that as a joke?
No, that's an honest comment on what. Right, are you
Rex,
like? What? Let me ask this, Rod. Why are you judging Rex so hard? Like, why?
I like Rex. I'm just bringing entertainment. I'm just here for the entertainment. Sorry.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's fine.
Michael Myers, offensive coordinator, that would be cool. He would keep the ball moving forward because nobody would make a mistake.
Yeah.
They would pass the ball.
Mike's arch nemesis had to post this up there. Yeah, Raj, what's the beef, man?
Rex, I'm just joking, man. No beef at all. No,
he's just trying to bring out the best in you. That's all.
I am. I'm trying to bring out the best in all of us.
This is what I have to put up with every day, every phone call, every. Oh, is that news to you?
No. I'm just like this all the time, I guess.
Yes, you are. I feel bad for your. No, I know you're a great husband and a great father.
Wait, you're telling me I'm a great husband? That just sounded really weird.
Great husband and a great father. Yes, because I see the way you are at home. You don't even know how to take compliments. You know what? You're the worst person
I know. Something's going on, man. Life changes after you have kids. I don't know. I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah. Well, I know what to do. It's time to end the show. How about that? Okay.
Yeah.
The Herbert Raj podcast, man. We appreciate all the comments. We've got our college football picks will be coming out for this week too. Our Bama versus the World, where they talk about a drunk LSU fan with a very tight shirt.
Yeah.
Have to check that out. Shakeback Media Group. His last comment is going to be. Got to check that out tomorrow night at 6. Football Talk with Bo. I know he's all over the place, so you got to check him out. And then I'll be checking out Randy. Didn't see him tonight at Damn Beast Media, but I like his.
Shout out to Randy. Yeah, if
they will definitely be picking LSU against us. So
yeah,
I have to tune in for that. So for our Herbert Raj podcast, Raj, appreciate you, man. This one flew by. I feel like we just got on air.
I know. This one ran. Well, the first 30 minutes went by pretty fast. So
yes, yeah. So always a good show. I always enjoyed it. Thank you to everybody.
Yeah,
appreciate it. Yep, the hosts on those shows, they're all good people, man. Everybody tune in. We appreciate you guys. We'll be back next week. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out. Love y'all. And as always,
roll Tide.